Simulator.
We are less than 2 weeks away from the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear. To help us gear up for this, we're so thrilled. We have 3 IndyCar stars in the house this morning. We have Will Power of Team Penske, Ed Carpenter of Ed Carpenter Racing, and also Max Chilton of Carlin Racing. Thank you all for being with us this morning. We really appreciate it. Of course, the Indianapolis 500 is this coming Sunday. You can watch it over on Channel 7. And it's got to be so much pressure, I think, for the Indy 500 for qualifying. What is that like? What is the pressure like for that?
It's a really intense weekend. You know, we're obviously all trying to go out, get all the absolute speed that we can get out of our cars, and I think really what makes it hard is you spend so much time sitting and waiting, watching all your competitors go, wondering how quick they're going to go, and then if you'll have enough speed for that. So it's just a lot of pressure in how long we sit in anticipation of our own runs.
Sure. What strategy do you use for that, Max?
So I was with a rookie team this year, Carlin Racing, so I've got the experience from a couple of years ago, and it's just the anticipation of waiting all day, knowing have you got the tire pressures right and the wing angles right. That's the only thing you can change. And you know, it's very rewarding once you get those 4 laps flat out and you've adjusted your bars and your weight jacket as much as you can. So it's an amazing place, but it comes alive next Sunday.
I have no doubt about it. How about you, Will?
Yeah, it's so funny because you only run twice in 2 days, and it is the most stressful 2 days of the whole month, I feel like. Yeah, a lot of anxiety, but you know, when this guy runs and does like a 2:30.
Right, and you won the pole.
You got the pole. Yeah, and you think, man, you're not going to beat that.
I mean, and everybody knows you're an Indy boy, so do you think that gives you an edge, or not so much?
I don't. You know, when you get out on track, there's only that. I mean, that gives you confidence and makes you feel really nice knowing that I've got the local support. But it doesn't mean that it's going to make it any easier to beat these guys. But my team did a great job, gave me a really fast car, and it's pretty fun when someone can go out and give Will a hard time.
Right. Now, you got 3rd, is that right, Will?
Yes, on the front row, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which is really cool to be on the front row. It's 33 cars, and it's the biggest event of the year. I mean, it's an amazing event. It's like you can't explain on race day when you walk out of Gasoline Alley and see that many people in one place, like 300,000 people. It's amazing, biggest sporting event in the world.
And right after that, you have to head back over here to Belle Isle, switch from oval racing to the road track, the challenge of doing back-to-back, the duel in Detroit. And how do you make that transition, Max?
Yeah, it's pretty tiring, actually, because we have the Indy Grand Prix, a weekend of qualifying, the Indy 500, and then we have the doubleheader at Detroit, followed by Texas. So
no pressure.
Yeah, it's a busy number of weeks. But coming to Detroit, it's always amazing. It is pretty tiring because it's, as you say, 2 races back-to-back. But for the fans that can't get down to Indianapolis for the Grand Prix, there's free tickets for the Friday to come and watch. So it's always got big crowds. I think 100,000 people come and watch the Detroit Grand Prix throughout the weekend. So it's a really great track. It's pretty bumpy. Make sure your teeth are in nice and tight, because otherwise they're going to be bouncing out. But
we're not going to make it easy for you. Not at all. Not at all. It's got to be a good challenge. And the fans just love it. They really do. And you also are kind of, you know, practicing, if you will, with the virtual racing experience today. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's actually iRacing. It's an online racing game, and they have they're letting us try the Detroit track. They're going to release that later on during this year.
Yeah.
Virtually, yeah. It's amazing how close these simulators are now. Like it's probably the best. It is the best online racing game around. And seriously, like they have the IndyCar on there and some of the IndyCar tracks, and like the braking points, and the track is exactly the same. It's really cool. So we get a taste of that today.
I love it. I have a feeling they'll all do very well. Will Power, Ed Carpenter, and Max Chilton, thank you all so much for being with us this morning, and best of luck at the Indy 500. Of course, for all of the up-to-date news surrounding the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix, stick with 7 Action News starting June 1st. We're going to have the special coverage in our countdown to the green flag. We'll take you inside the winner's circle, bring you the pit pass, and your preview to the big race. We'll have live coverage both on air and online over on WXYZ.com.